Good evening, everybody, and welcome to We Inspire, a weekly interview segment with entrepreneurs. So, we have a very special guest today. His name is Navin Reddy, and he's the founder of the YouTube channel Telescope, as well as the company Telescope Private Limited. Now, as a YouTube personality, he has over 1 million followers. At the same time, his channel is focused on teaching them about technology, coding, and programming. So, techies, I'm sure you'll know his name, his channel. So, without further ado, let's welcome him. Welcome, Navin.
Hey, hi, Rinoy. Thanks for inviting. I'm glad to be here and excited for this chat.
Absolutely. I'm excited as well. And thank you for joining us. I know you're a busy guy, especially now you're joining this interview through, in your car. So I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Uh, before we get started, I want to, list out one of your accomplishments along with everything else. So Google rated your channel as the top 10 channels on YouTube to learn Python, especially during the lockdown. So it's one hell of an accomplishment. You started your YouTube channel back in 2014. So how has this journey been?
It was amazing. Never expected that I will get millions of subscribers. In fact, that was never intention. The intention was to start a channel to teach people. Doesn't matter if even if I get 10 views, 100 views, but looking at the view count and the number of comments every day, that's one of the motivation every morning when you get up and when you see the comments. Yeah, some comments are bad, but most of them are good. So, which motivates me to work harder. It was an amazing experience of 6 years, reaching to that milestone of 1 million.
Excellent. Truly an accomplishment. And, I hope your channel grows. So before we get to that, I think it's important to lay some context for our viewers. So can you tell me how you got started?
Okay, so it all started when I started my career in IT. I always wanted to be a programmer, never had this intention of being a trainer or being a consultant. I just wanted to join a big company where I can work, I can earn money, I can build softwares. And then when I got my first job, uh, I was excited, but the problem was somewhere it was around 2012. Uh, Before that, also I was doing freelancing work, but the main job I got in 2012. It was one of the MNC, but unfortunately, what I expected was not something which I got there. In terms of the job profile, I was trying to adjust for a few months, and then uh, I thought, hey, I just want to move out from here. Because the problem is, if you do something which you don't like for a few months, you start, uh, you start going away from the thing which you love. So I thought this is a time I should shift. I left that job. I joined a startup. I worked there for a few years. I mean, 1.5 years actually. So while I was working on the projects, I was happy. I was able to. It was challenging because working in a startup is different from working in MNCs. In MNCs, we have procedures. We know how to achieve things. In startup, it's wild. You just have to get the work done. Doesn't matter how you do it. You are the mentor. You are the coder. Everything is you. You have to interact with the client. So after 1.5 years, I got this opportunity to also train my juniors. And then while doing it, I thought, hey, it's fun. I can teach, I can work. So let me do this parallelly. I was able to train juniors. I was able to work on the projects. And after that, I thought, let me just go for full-time trainings because I was loving it. Every day. In fact, that was the first time where I used to enjoy Mondays.
Oh,
So
okay.
I know in everyone had this issue, they hate Mondays, but I started loving Mondays and I thought, hey, this is something I really excited about. And I was doing that till 2014 in full fledged. I was doing trainings. Then somewhere something got, there was an issue of training, and then okay, that's a different story, why I started YouTube. But uh, I uploaded my first video on YouTube. Uh, I guess I have uploaded 3 to 4 videos in a week. And then there was no motivation, so when you upload a video, if you try that, when you upload videos on YouTube, people think, they will just get views and then they will earn money, but that's not how YouTube works. you will not even get 1 or 2 views. Maybe you can share with your friends and they will watch your video. Maybe they will not even watch your video. They will like the video and say, hey, amazing video. So that's how it started for me. But after 1 month, I got a comment. Because of this video, I was able to crack the interview, and I was like, okay, one video. If one video can help a candidate to crack the interview, what if I can make the entire series? So whatever I was teaching in a training sessions to a particular batch of 30 people, why should I limit my knowledge to 30 people when I can teach to the entire world? Uh, and that's how it started. So I started uploading videos.
Mm.
With that, I was also doing trainings. I was also uploading. I was also giving content to private companies. Of course, you have to earn from somewhere. So uh, that's how I used to earn my bread and butter by selling the courses to the private companies.
All right.
And it's still going on. Everything is going in as per planned as of now.
Excellent. And that's actually a very realistic story, and it gives you a quick outlook on what success looks like and the time it takes also, because I think that's the most important thing. You started in 2014, so it's getting to be almost a 7-year journey. This year it'll complete 7 years.
Yeah,
So that's the most important thing.
right. April. Yeah.
Yeah. So personally for me, before our interview, I checked out from some of your videos. So what I noticed especially was that there's a lot of passion with which you teach, and it is very important that you want your viewers to understand, because usually when people, for me especially, I don't have a technical background. So when I hear computer programming, coding, it is an alien language to me. I can feel a little overwhelmed by it. But I think your goal, when I saw your videos, it seemed like you wanted us to not feel overwhelmed at all. And in fact, you gave an approach or an outlook to the viewer that this is very easy. All I need you to do is give your time to me, and I'm going to take you through this course. And most importantly, you convey the information that it's going to be fun. And that really hooked me, because personally for me, when I was like, okay, this is not normally how a computer programming class goes. And so that's the main thing. I saw a lot of passion in that. So first thing. The second thing I want to talk about, what you mentioned about, for the first time you were excited on a Monday. I remember a few weeks ago, I was watching a video of the entrepreneur Gary V, and he was talking about how
Yeah.
most people, they work on the weekdays and they're looking for the weekend. And most of these people are
Yeah.
living for the weekends. The rest of the days, they're just struggling and all.
Right.
So I guess you have to have a
Yeah.
purpose, that keeps you excited and motivated on the weekends as well as the weekdays. So these are the interesting things that you talked about.
Right.
Right. So let's move on. Now that you started your channel, how do you see the growth in terms of technology going forward?
Specific to my channel, when I started it in 2014, not a lot of channels were there on YouTube. I mean, there were some amazing trainers available. I was a big fan of New Boston. I don't know if you know about him, but New Boston was there. I was also watching Java Brain. So they were some of my mentors from where I learned some few technologies. But now, if you see the YouTube market, there are a lot of trainers. There are a lot of people who want to teach on YouTube for multiple reasons. Some people do it because they have passion. They want to teach. And trust me, YouTube is one of the best platform to be a trainer if you are passionate about. But then I have seen few people, they just want to get money, they just want to get subscribers, and they do anything to get that subscriber count. It doesn't matter if they're really teaching. What matters is they show that they're teaching, but if you really have a look on those channels, they're not teaching, they're just trying to get the subscribers. And somewhere, I feel YouTube is getting saturated in terms of the way we have number of trainers or the number of channels available. But looking at the other aspect of the technology, it's moving very fast. To be very honest, when I started my career, for me, Java, Python was the ultimate thing. If you know these languages, you are good to go. But that's not how it's going on now. If you see school students, you know, class 6, class 7, they are learning programming. So a class 8 student can make an app. So there's a difference
Right.
between you and even they can build an application. So you have to go next step. If you look at the technological ecosystem, we have so many technologies available. not just programming, not just app development, not just websites. Currently, I'm focusing on one of my favorite technology, which is blockchain. Yeah, I know people talk about AI. That's the future. Self-driving cars, and then Java's. So, yeah, people are excited about AI, but the other technology which is booming is blockchain. Now, just to give viewership some of the aspect of blockchain, it's something behind Bitcoins. Now, if you know Bitcoin, very famous, of course.
Yeah,
Uh, I guess they have touched $40,000 one Bitcoin.
yeah,
But the technology behind it is blockchain. That's what I'm working now. Now, looking at the aspect of YouTube, there's something has changed after COVID for me. Yeah, of course, everyone runs behind YouTube success, and then I was very happy. But after COVID, things got changed for me as well. Uh, Life is very short. You have to achieve something which you love, not just about your success, but something which will not give you success, but it will give you that satisfaction. That's something I'm going for now.
yeah.
Um, Even if I get success, that's great. But blockchain is something I want to master, and I want to teach that on YouTube as well. But as you know, the more narrow technology you talk about, uh, you will get less audience. If I make a
Sure.
video on mobile phones,
Yeah,
there's a higher chance of getting more subscribers, more viewers. But
definitely.
it's time to go niche.
Got it. So I'll definitely will come back to blockchain. I think it's an important technology as well. So I'm going to discuss a little bit of it based on whatever knowledge I have. So I just want to touch upon the educational factor. Like you mentioned, even a student who's in 8th standard can create an app on his own. So in terms of that education, do you think our educational system is equipped to handle that technological need or requirement?
Uh, but the problem is, they should, of course, every college or schools, they should adopt new technologies. But if you really look at the practical aspect, we have a huge population. We have so many number of schools, so many number of colleges, and if every college want to upgrade their syllabus every year, I mean, if you look at the way technology is growing, it's very fast. The same pace cannot be achieved by colleges. They are trying. I have been associated with few of the colleges before, and we had an amazing discussion what to include in the syllabus, what not to include in the syllabus. But the problem is, even if you have something new in the syllabus, or if you have something new in the as a vocational subject, do we have resources available to teach it? In terms of human resource, in terms of the physical resources needed. Example, let's say if you want to teach AI, do they have systems available where they can train the students who can work on the models on machines? Uh, do we have the trainers available?
Right.
Not everyone want to upgrade themselves. Of course, they should, but then you can't make it compulsory for teachers to learn something every year. Now that's where there are different solutions available. We have third parties company who provide you with the courses.
Right.
So now things are going in that way. So colleges, they teach the basics, and then they ask some other company to take the entire subject. And of course, not everyone is interested in AI. Not everyone is interested in blockchain. So
Yeah.
based on your interest, you can just select which course you want to go for. So the best thing for the colleges would be, yes, at least give the basics of all new technologies. Don't go in depth. Let them know what is coming in the future, because schools, they can teach programming, they can get them ready,
Yeah.
but the new technologies they can learn in the colleges just give the basics and let them go for the particular expertise they want to go for.
Sounds good. So another thing I wanted to touch upon on your YouTube channel, right? If you go to that, it is mentioned, we don't teach, we educate. So what is the difference? Because it was very interesting and very catchy. It stayed with me. I just saw it once and it just stayed with
There are actually two aspects of it: one from a student perspective, and second from a trainer's perspective. As a student, I was not good in my school. I used to score very less. I used to also get fail in some of the subjects, especially social science or uh, language, I guess, Hindi. I used to get, I don't know why, but I used to get fail.
me.
Now, one of the issues which I faced is I was good in understanding concepts provided I look in that perspective. when you ask me to learn something, mug up something, I will not remember that. But once you, uh, so as a student, you have to educate yourself. You have to, of course, whatever you learn from in your 15 years of education, you will not remember everything, right? But
Right.
if you educate yourself about a particular concepts, about a particular technology, and if you can teach that, so I read it somewhere that if you learn it, you will learn only once, but when you teach it, you will learn twice. So if you
Okay.
can teach it, that means you're understanding properly.
Yeah.
The second perspective is as a trainer's perspective. As a trainer, as a teacher, when you go to the classroom, are you teaching? So what teaching simply means is you go there, you talk about a concept. Now it doesn't matter if your audience is getting or not. But what I do as a trainer is I have seen some amazing trainers in my career. So I was lucky to work with some. While observing them, what I've seen is uh, the great trainers, what they do is they look at their audience. They try to understand who are the audience, what is a gap I want to fill. Of course, right, they want to teach something, but then there's always a gap between what they know and what you're teaching. If that gap is full, that means you can teach more. But if there's a gap, even if you teach something amazing, they will think, hey, something is missing. It's not everything they will understand. So you have to make sure as a trainer that you know your audience. You have to fill that gap, and you have to also explain in a way that they can implement those things. And that's how you have to educate them. Uh, so even I felt that catchy, so I went with that word. But as a trainer, you have to observe some great trainers, understand how they teach, understand your audience, and do it.
That's a very practical way to look at things. And as you rightly said, to educate someone, they truly remember it. Because there are several things I don't remember from my school days, also. Probably because I mugged it up.
Yeah,
But whatever I educated myself with, the concepts, like you said, yes, I do remember it. A very practical way to look at it. So moving on, let's touch upon another aspect. Can you talk about some of the services you've taken with Vakilsearch?
so I've registered my company with Vakilsearch in 2019. Registration, GS registration, auditing for the entire year, tax filing. So everything done for the last year with Vakilsearch.
Right. So when you initially started your channel, you hadn't registered as a company. You existed as a channel. So why did you decide
Yeah,
to get
so it
registered?
was there were multiple reasons. One of the reasons was I wanted to do some contract before COVID with companies. In fact, 2018 itself, I wanted to have some contracts with few of the companies, and they were okay with my proposal, but they wanted this proposal to be coming from a company per se, not from a person.
Ah,
Uh, so, company letterhead, company stamp, and some of the payment gateways as well ask you to be a company. So I thought it's a good time to start a company. I can hire people. We can work on big projects. So that's why I wanted to register this company.
okay. So speaking of projects, what are your future plans for your business?
Yeah, there are two things. One is making blockchain projects and making blockchain videos. So those are the two things for next 2 years. After that, will depend upon how this 2 years goes.
All right. Now, so coming back to blockchain technology, the very limited knowledge I have, the main thing over there, advantage I see is that there's not a central authority when it comes to blockchain technologies. Now, in this
Right.
given age, everything is going online, so there is always a danger of anything being hacked, any discrepancies when it comes to financial transactions. So, blockchain technology provides a certain amount of security when it comes to providing a non-centralized authority for financial transactions or just about any transactions using the blockchain technology. So what are your views
Right.
on blockchain technology? And there's this decision, like you said, to go niche also.
Yeah. Um, so there are two uses of blockchain which you can see now. One is the cryptocurrencies which is going on. Everyone knows about cryptocurrency, right?
Right.
Bitcoin, Ethereum. So in future, instead of using centralized banks, as you mentioned, we can directly use distributed currencies. Like if I want to transfer you some money, doesn't matter from which country you are, I can send bitcoins, I can send ethers. But my main focus or love is towards the enterprise market.
Okay.
I mean, look at the logistics. Look at the logistics field or supply chain. So whatever you buy from Flipkart or Amazon, we have seen some cases, right, where you buy an iPhone, what you receive is a rinse soap instead
Yes.
of an iPhone,
Yes. That has been.
right? So even Flipkart knows something went wrong. The customer knows something went wrong, but no one knows where exactly that happened. Is it from the seller? Are they doing it? Is it from the distributor? Is it from the warehouse? Is it the delivery person who is changing it? So they're not able to track because we have multiple parties involved here, and they're not sharing that data directly, right? So every company in between, the warehouse, the dealers, Flipkart warehouse, everything is distributed. So they have their own central servers,
Right.
and they are not sharing their data with everyone. And that's why it's difficult to track from where they are making these mistakes or who is doing this fraud. So if you can use a distributed database which is linked
Hmm.
and they all come into consensus. So if something is changed in one server, it will it will give that data to all the servers. So
Right.
if something is going wrong at the warehouse, the Flipkart will know some data is getting changed in the warehouse, and they can easily track all the products.
Good. Excellent.
So we can implement that in healthcare. We can implement that in education.
Okay. So I guess,
So what
yeah.
it is trying to solve is the trust issue. So basically, on the internet, we have, in fact, not just internet. If you look at the world, no one trusts each other, right? I don't trust you. If you say I have sent you 10,000 rupees, where's the proof? So I
Yeah.
have to go to the bank or I have to check my app
Yeah.
to verify. Hey, I have received 10,000 rupees from Renoy.
Hmm.
So there's a bank in between who give that trust.
Hmm.
But nowadays we have also seen some banks who's doing frauds, right? There were two banks who got their license cancelled recently.
Oh, I see.
So it's time to build trust, not just with central servers, but with some protocol where I don't have to trust you, but I trust the technology,
Right.
and we both are using the same technology, so we are safe. I don't have to trust you, you don't have to trust me. Let's trust the technology.
Thank you. So thank you for breaking it down. You gave some very practical and realistic and simple examples. So not just for me, but also viewers. So that's very interesting outlook. So I look forward to some of your new videos on blockchain as well. So you got a subscriber with me. So having said that,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. So having said that, I thought we'll go into a final segment, and for our viewers, for everyone, final few words on anyone planning to start a YouTube channel or their business. What would?
May not be, I will not be focusing most on the business, but start something. Doesn't matter, is it a YouTube channel, is it something, is it a company or startup? We all want to do something which you love. So few people are waiting for the right time. They say, hey, let me just wait for 2 years, and then after 2 years I will start. But with my experience, what I feel is, if you want to do something, start it.
Hmm.
Maybe you're doing it with parallelly with what you're doing now, but start it. The moment you start, then you'll understand the actual flow. Sometimes you feel it's easy, it's not. Sometimes you feel it's very difficult. It's not. It's somewhere between that easy and difficult. It's all depend upon your dedication. So once you start it, you'll understand the flow and just go with the flow. And you will not even see. I was doing this from last 6 years, and time just flies. You just have to go with the flow of working on something which you love. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, just take a mobile phone, record your first video. It will be bad, but see, when I uploaded my first video, I felt it is good. Now if I look that video, it's very bad. I don't want to watch my first video. But you have to start somewhere, right? You have to. If you don't start with your first video, how will you reach to that point where you will make amazing videos?
Yes. Yes. So thank you for that, Navin. It's been a pleasure chatting with you and for sharing all your insights with us. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I enjoyed this discussion. See you again.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you. Bye.